Morning everybody, welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Peter C. and today we're going to be going over this 2025 Winnebago Revel 44E. So the 44E is kind of the top of the lineup as far as the Revels go, for your battery capacity, water capacities, all that. So it's a really capable off-road adventure rig, and I'm excited to show it to you. So get started, we'll go over the tires. So these are performance stylized tires. You'll notice the Revel logo on there, and these are BF Goodrich All-terrain tires. So combine that with the 2-inch lift on this coach and the all-wheel drive, makes it a really capable, off-road van. So this is built on the Mercedes Sprinter 2500 chassis. Again, it is an all-wheel drive. Has a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel motor, 211 horsepower and 332 foot-pounds of torque. And then our dimensions are going to be 19 feet 6 inches in length, 9 feet 11 inches height, and 7 feet 5 inches width. And it has a 144-inch wheelbase. So looking up towards the top, you'll notice the light bar up there. So this was something that a lot of customers were installing themselves after the fact. But on the 2025, Winnebago chose to just make that a standard. So it's a 22,000 lumen light bar. So if you're in a situation where, you're way on the back roads and you're trying to get somewhere at night and, kind of perilous territory, you'll have plenty of light to be able to do whatever you need to do out there. You're not just relying on your headlights. So coming around the side here, one thing I always think is so cool is this running board. So this is an aluminum running board that's a little more grippy than the last one. Earlier ones were made out of rubber. This is kind of a little more grippy so you don't slip on it. And then this tube running along the back kind of prevents your foot from going in there, especially if you have dogs that are jumping in and out of the van, prevents anyone from slipping their leg back here. And I love how this is kind of studded with these little Revel punches in the running board. Just a neat little detail that Winnebago does. So one thing on the side here we like to point out is the cassette toilet. So you've seen this cassette toilet in the Echoes as well, utilize the same thing, but it's your little suitcase carry cassette toilet. So this is replacing a black tank. You don't have a black tank on this van, you would just have the cassette toilet. You just take that out, take it to any porta potty or any dump station you can and just empty it out. And then also along the side here, this is going to be your shore power. So this is a 30 amp shore power, and this is also a smart meter. So you'll notice the G, L, and N. This will light up green to tell you that the power is good. If it lights up red or it's blinking or anything, it's indicating there's a problem with the power supply that could potentially damage the electrical system, so you know to unplug it. So it kind of just prevents you from plugging in any kind of bad power that could damage the RV. And coming around the back, we have our ladder for our roof access. Again, you'll have the Revel stylized plate with the little van punches in it. It's a really neat little detail. 5,000 pound tow capacity on this, and your 7-way connector right there. Not a lot of people tow with these, but the hitch itself is rated for 500 pounds of vertical weight, which means you can put a tow rack on there for bikes or more gear, containers, whatever it might be, and it has a weight capacity up to 500 pounds. And then up above, you'll notice our backup camera, and I'll show you that when we get into the cab as well. So we'll start back here in the garage. These doors open nice and wide. Each of your doors is going to have these deep bungee pockets or anything you want to stick in there. So back in the garage, from the floor up, first thing is that all throughout this van, there's no carpet, no vinyl, no other kind of flooring. It's this really durable rubber flooring. So, you're not gonna have to worry about getting this dirty or your dog scratching it. It's really easy to clean, so it's very durable. You'll also have this L-track all throughout the garage space back here. So if you wanna put bicycles, e-bikes, or more, crates or containers or more gear back here and you don't want it sliding around, you can utilize this L-track to be able to tie it down and hold it in place. So right here, we're gonna have our battery behind this. This blue light indicates that it is on right now. So this is an 8.4 kilowatt hour Lithionics lithium battery. The 8.4 is standard, which is over double what you're going to get on the Sport, because the Revel Sport's going to be 4.1. There is an option with the 44E to double this. So your battery will sit behind here, but if you add an additional 8.4 kilowatt hours, that'll sit in this compartment right here and just take up a little bit of your space. But since this one was optioned with only 8.4, we'll have a nice storage compartment in there. Right now that's holding all your hoses and everything. And then this right here will be your fuse panel. Over on the right side is kind of our wet bay. So this is your freshwater inlet and then your shower hookup. So while this does have a bathroom, you also have the ability to take a shower outdoors if you want to. You know, if you're out in the desert, it's kind of nice to shower and look at the stars. You have a hot water and cold water out here, your winterization valves and your freshwater valve, and then your water pump switch. So there's 2 water pump switches. There's one in here and then one in the kitchen. So going up from there, one thing that's really nice about the 44E compared to the Sport is you actually have this bench seating back here. So in the Sport, the side walls are kind of sloped back here. There's no seating. So what they did with the 44E was they made this nice bench seating. So you actually have enough room to be able to sit back here. You can fit 2 people comfortably. So if you're coming in from hiking or skiing and you want to take off your boots or take off your hiking gear, you have a place to sit down and, strip all that off you. Up above, we have a nice, adjustable kind of bungee pocket on these ram tracks right here. So you could use this, or you could hang other things on these ram tracks. You could hang bike helmets or whatever kind of gear you want up there. A little farther back, we have this gearbox. So this will have a bungee pocket on the bottom, as well as some little spots to put screwdrivers or wrenches or pliers, anything like that. Always good to have some tools on hand when you're off-road. And then this whole thing will zip open as well. So offers you a nice little spot to just store a little more gear. Now this bed is on an elevator. So right now it's in the up position. It'll drop down all the way onto here, which I'll demo in a second. But what is nice about this bed as well is that you're not restricted to only being able to use it all the way down. This belt system itself can, I believe Winnebago says it can support up to 600 pounds, which means you can sleep on it, here, any position you want to. If you have taller objects back here in the garage that you can't drop the bed all the way down, just offers you a little bit of flexibility. So we'll go ahead and drop the bed down. Now that's all the way in the down position. So enough room to, pretty comfortably sleep 2 adults side by side in here. You do have one small porthole window in here that'll open. And you just adjust this wheel to hold it wherever you want to. So just help you get a little bit of cross breeze when you're sleeping in here at night. Up above, we have 2 more bungee pockets. And on either side of these, what's really cool is you'll have outlets here. So both of these on either side are going to be a USB-C and a USB-A hookup. So phones, iPads, laptops, anything like that you use at night, you can plug it in right there and then stow it in this pocket when you're ready to go to bed and just keep it out of your way. So it's nice to have a little kind of dedicated storage for that. Here on the back wall, we'll have our 2 110 hookups and then our lights as well. So that'll be our ceiling light. All of the lighting throughout here is going to be low and high. So the middle is the off point, you have low and then high. Back here, you'll have these 2 little lights that are push touch. So kind of your night lights for when you're sleeping. They're separate from the rest of the systems in here. They're on their own switch. So up above is going to be our 13.5K BTU AC. Now, when this bed is all the way in the up position, this AC does not really work efficiently, so you need to make sure the bed is down in order to be able to use your AC. What's really nice about the way this is designed though, with the AC being directly above the bed, obviously your AC is going to be your biggest power draw, and you want to do whatever you can to minimize how much that's drawing. So you'll have a curtain right here, which when you drop this down all the way and zip it shut, you can see how that'll kind of seal off your bed area. So you're focusing all that cold air into one smaller area versus cooling the entire van. So it really just helps you save on power You know, this van does not have a generator. It's all running off of lithium battery capacity and the solar. There's 210 watts of solar on the roof. So anything you can do to minimize how much power you're using is a good thing. So I'll go ahead and put this bed back up. And then we'll come around the rest of the side of the van. So out here you'll have your Carefree awning with the LED light bar at the top. LED is not tucked into the rest of the awning, so you can utilize that LED lighting without the awning, with or without the awning being in. And again, another big running board here with the Revel logo on it and your little Revel vans punched into the running board. So heading on inside, you'll notice I have the screen all the way down. So you have this same screen on the back door as well. Really nice if you're camping, and you know, especially in Colorado, you don't necessarily need the AC at night, but you just want airflow. These seal this off really well, so you can keep all the bugs out, but you can still get all that airflow inside the coach. So this right now is magneted shut. Right here is going to be a magnet strip. So all you have to do is pop that open, and you don't have to unzip this to get in and out. And just shut it back up like that. So you don't have to completely unzip it to go in and out. Also out here, we're gonna have our table. So this table, it's really nice the way it's made with this, it's completely adjustable. So if you're kind of parked on a slope or whatever, you're trying to, you know, say you want to put your cooktop out here and cook eggs and they're sliding around in the pan, this is just going to let you get it right, so it's actually good and level. Also just sticks on this magnet right here, so nothing you really need to do to shut it. It's really easy. Down here is going to be all of our tank drains. And then we'll go ahead and roll this up. You can see it's a one-person job and takes 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how speedy you are. So heading on inside, first off, the location of the refrigerator is really nice here because it'll let you get into this refrigerator from the outside without having to, you know, come inside every time you want to get a drink or anything. If you're just hanging outside camping, you can open this fridge from the exterior without ever having to step in the van. You also have a small freezer at the top, you know, enough room for some ice cream bars or popsicles or whatever you like to bring with you. So first off in here, we have the table set up with the chairs right now. So this table is removable. It's just on a post down there. But right now we have it in place and it's a, you know, nice swivel so you can get it out of your way if you need to. What I really like about these chairs here, they are small chairs. And I've been in here with another salesman before on a test drive, and you know, we're shoulder to shoulder if you're adults. So they're pretty small chairs. What's really nice that Winnebago did then is these are kind of extendable. So you grab this lever here, this will pull all the way out, and then this lever in the front, it'll pull forward, and it will recline all the way back. So instead of having two really cramped chairs, it offers a lot more space if you're an adult. So it's a lot more comfortable for your passengers. Both of these chairs will do that as well. And really easy to put back. Up above here, we're gonna have our one storage compartment. Now this one includes the Luna bed with it. So your Luna cab bed is an inflatable mattress that'll sit between your two front seats. It's really nice if you wanna just bring one extra person along with you, or maybe a child, you know, comfortable for them. Not for a full-sized adult, but a smaller person or a child can fit comfortably up there. Up here is going to be all of our controls. So this is going to show our battery and our battery draw. So it's in percentage, so you can see we're at 99% charge right now. And your available time will display how long you can run it based on your current consumption. So right now, all we have on in here is our max air fan vent and all of the lighting. And according to this, we can run it for 45 days and 12 hours at that current draw. Up above is gonna be your input. So that'll show if you're hooked into shore power. It'll show how much charging you're getting off solar and all that. And then down here on your output is where you're gonna control your AC and your DC currents. So your DC will need to be switched on to run all of the lighting and all of the outlets in the coach. And then your AC is going to run your AC unit. So once you switch that on, the power will go to your AC. Down below is gonna be our Timberline system. So our Timberline is the heater for this van. The Timberline is a really cool heater because it's a hydronic heater, so hydronic heating instead of a propane furnace, and it's also a continuous hot water heater. But what's really cool about it is you can see we can select heater or element. So this is traditionally diesel fired. It'll pull off your 24.5 gallon diesel tank, that the Mercedes chassis itself, and it'll heat the coach that way. But if you're plugged into shore power, and you don't want to have to use your diesel tank, you can select element. And what that'll do is it'll use an electric element to heat everything instead of drawing off your diesel tank. So it's just a really nice option to give you a little bit more flexibility. And then you can see all the temperature settings on there. Down here, this will just display your capacities. So you can see our tank levels, fresh and gray water is empty right now. And then our battery level will show just your chassis and your house voltage. This is for the bed, so you have to make sure this key is in the on position. You just press the up or the down button, and that will control your bed. And then these are just all of our light switches. Again, there's high, off, and low on all of these switches. So going back a little farther, we'll go into the bathroom. So latch at the top, and then this is magneted at the bottom. You have to really pull it to get it open. But it's nice because it keeps it sturdy. So this is a small bathroom, but what's nice about it is if you don't want to utilize the shower, like a lot of customers that are in vans, they just say, hey, we shower outside, then this doubles as kind of a wardrobe. So you have this removable hanging curtain rod at the top, and you also have a vent fan in here. So if you're out hiking and you have really dirty, smelly clothes, or you're at the beach surfing and you have a wetsuit, anything like that that you want to keep separate, you can hang it in here, turn on your fan vent, shut these doors, and it's gonna, number one, dry them out, but number two, keep the smell out of the rest of the coach. You'll have one little dry storage compartment in here, enough space for shampoo and a soap bottle, or whatever you bring with you on the road. And then your toilet paper holder down here, so it's completely covered so it stays dry when you're showering. And the toilet is also on a swivel, which is really nice. So you can swivel it this way and leave the door open if you need to use it that way. And one more thing, the way this door extends will kind of give you just a little bit more privacy when you're back here. You just open that up and it prevents anyone from kind of the front windows that might be looking in from being able to see in here. All right, so now into the kitchen. We'll start up above. We have one overhead storage compartment here. Very roomy, it's upholstered all the way throughout, so it'll keep anything from getting scratched or banging around in here too much. It kind of deadens the noise. Down on our sink, we'll have a stainless steel sink in this little holder right here. It's a good spot for your dish soap, seasonings, anything like that. Any small things you need to keep with you and easily accessible, just toss in that basket. In the back, we'll have our Flying W. So this is a good spot just to hang your, hang your dish towels, hand towels, anything like that. Down below the sink is going to be another outlet for USB-C and USB. Our two 110 outlets here, and then this will be our water pump. All the way at the end, we'll have one small compartment there. So about hand deep, enough space for maybe a few boxes of pasta or something. And then all of our drawers. So one deep one at the bottom. And what's really nice about these drawers too is they all utilize these compression latches. So a lot of vans you'll go for test drives in and you'll just hear everything rattling around constantly. This helps to reduce that a lot. So you'll see where that's at, but once it goes up and then I close it, it's actually going to pull in just a little bit. So it just sucks the drawer shut a little bit, so it prevents a little bit more rattles. And you can tighten these over time so it always stays tight. Now, there's no propane cooktop in this. It utilizes a true induction cooktop. So over here, this kind of doubles as a countertop extension. So when this is on here, it's a good spot to, just set a little bit more stuff up when you're cooking. But if we take this out, under there is going to be our true induction cooktop. So this is just a 110. You can plug it in right here on the sink. You can run an extension cord and plug it in outside on your table, however you want to do it. Throw that back in there. Up above right here is just going to be our awning controls. So awning is off right now, flip it into on, extend, retract, and your awning light. So that's that LED light bar we showed you at the top. And this is just another light in the coach itself. Lastly, we'll go up front. So we have an overhead cap right here. Just another nice spot for some storage. Right now we have the front cover for the windows in here, but you can see it's very deep. So you have plenty of storage up there. Moving up into the cab, both of these seats are going to be able to spin completely around. So kind of just extends your living space a little bit in your seating. When you're parked at a campground, spin these around and you'll have two really comfortable heated chairs that you can sit in. Not too many things to go over in this cab. This is just your typical Mercedes. The one thing I do really love about these is the way the backup camera works. So you can see if I put this in reverse, it's going to show the path that we're on as well as like a bird's eye view. So as I turn the steering wheel, it'll actually show the path that we're backing up on. So this isn't even that big of a van, but when you pair it with something like this, it is extremely easy to be able to back into campsites, wherever you need to go. It is very, very easy van to maneuver. And then you just have your Mercedes navigation on here. It supports your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So lastly, we'll go over some of the capacities for this van. Grab that, Jody. So this van has 35 gallons of fresh water, 21 gallons of gray, and 24.5 gallons of fuel. So that's an upgrade from your Revel Sport, because your Revel Sport's going to be 24 gallons of fresh. This upgrades to 35. So one of your most important things, you're getting a lot more of it. There is no propane on this. It is just battery capacity, your 210 watts of solar on the roof. And then additionally, you do have a dedicated second alternator in the 44E. So that's another thing you do not have on the Sport that you gain on the 44E. You have a massive secondary alternator that will charge your batteries while you're driving. According to Winnebago, the manufacturer, that second alternator will charge your single 8.4 kilowatt lithium-ion battery in about an hour of driving. Which is really incredible. So if you move around campsites at all, your battery is constantly going to be charged up. That's pretty much it. I think we hit everything. Again, my name's Peter C. This is my contact information here. If you have any questions, just call or text 719-799-8357. And thanks for watching our video.